honest with ourselves. The reason this episode was made was to give an official episode to two shorts that had been going in circulation for the past couple of months or so. So let's explain why that happened. So in 1990, there was a relatively big album smash from a band called They Might Be Giants.
Hi, thanks for joining us for coffee. I'm John.
And I'm John of They Might Be Giants.
And we've got a new album out on Elektra Records. It's called Flood.
This is our rock promotion video, so come on inside.
By this point, they were basically playing all the instruments themselves. They had a service called Dial-A-Song where they would literally, you'd call a number and you would get a new song every day. They were lo-fi, independent, alt-rock, indie rock music makers. They had done 2 albums previous in the late 80s, one in 1986, one in 1988. Both of those are really good. But around this time, they sort of, quote-unquote, sell out and get an official label release on Elektra Records. And that release, which is called Flood, gave them a lot of mainstream attention because that is the album that has some of their most mainstream hits on it. The first of which being Birdhouse Near Soul, and also ones like Istanbul, Not Constantinople, and Particle Man. And these were already getting some play on MTV and on a lot of the music in college radio and a lot of the music stations. And I don't know how this exactly happened, but at some point before February 1991, They Might Be Giants and Elektra came into a partnership with Tiny Toons to produce music videos for 2 of their songs that would be played on, the sort of cartoon channels and be sort of like, a little interstitial. And this was before, the actual episode of it. It just basically to boost their sort of, their name in terms of, because a lot of their stuff, a lot of They Might Be Giants stuff, it's obviously they make music for everybody, but a lot of their stuff could be for kids. Like 10 years after this, they would start making music specifically for kids. They have about 5 or 6 albums that are like, kids music. They've done Here Come the ABCs, Here Come the 1, 2, 3s, and Here Comes Science, and also a couple other ones. Just for kids in addition to their other stuff.
Also did, if you're someone who, I'm trying to think age-wise, if you grew up with Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, how old would you be right now?
Teenage.
Okay, so if you grew up with Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, that was all them.
Yeah.
All the songs that were not sung by Mickey and crew, that was them.
Yeah.
Hot Dog, that one. Yep.
They've done a million things, and they've been in a million places, and you've probably heard them at one point. They did the music. They did a song for Coraline.
Making up a song about Coraline. She's a peach, she's a doll, she's a pal of mine. She's as cute as a button in the eyes of everyone who ever laid their eyes on Coraline. When she comes around exploring, Mom and I will never ever make it boring. Our eyes will be on Coraline.
They worked with Homestar Runner briefly. They have been around, and they are still together, by the way. They still tour regularly. I'm seeing them when they hit our city in February, I believe. And that'll be my second time seeing them because they're one of my favorite bands.
They might be giants.
Boy.
They might be giants. They might be brave. They might be washed. They might be Dr. Spock's backup man.